Hare Krishna, dear devotees. This is Rasika Preeti Devi Dasi from the beautiful farms of Nilachal Vedic village, ISKCON Talasari. So, in the last section, we discussed about the languages and how much they hold importance to different, in different scenarios, to the children, to raising them, to building their mindset, to improving their vocabulary, to giving them a tool for expression. Today we are going to talk about love languages. Okay, so there are 5 kind of love languages. It is written by an author, Campbell. I'm going to link the book, The 5 Love Languages, in the description box. I'm also going to link the online test that you can take for yourself and know your own love language. Okay, so there are 5 kinds, different types. They are categorized. Okay, now it is important to understand that this is not something very definitive or defining. Okay, it gives you a fair idea of what expression of love means more to you as compared to the others. And I'll explain why these are important. So first, let us look at the 5 different types and how it affects different relationships. Okay, so there are 5 types of love languages. One is the act of service. Okay, so the way you offer service, like suppose if you really love somebody, you would want to serve them by helping them in their chores or by giving them a massage, by massaging their feet. So this is one expression of love. Okay, so act of service. Okay, in any form, getting something, buying some grocery for somebody, helping them in some sort of way, offering service. Second is act of gifting, gifts. Okay, so for some people, gifts mean a lot. It is a very important love language for them because it's a often misunderstood language because people think that isko to kuch chahiye hi hota hai, cheez chahiye hoti hai. But it's really not about the thing. It's about the thought that went behind gifting. For example, if I really take out some time and put thought ki which would be a perfect gift for the person, I'm thinking about them, I know them well, and this is what holds meaning rather than the thing itself. Okay, physical thing itself. And on the contrary, if you just don't know somebody, if you don't like, you'll just give them something, out of your shelf, your own house shelf. So these gifts, especially people whose love language is gifts, it's very tricky to give them something, because if you just give them something that is not important or something that doesn't makes any connection with them, it's a high chance they'll feel that you don't love them enough. Okay, so second is act of gifting. Third is quality time, spending quality time together. For some, no matter what you give, no matter what you do for them, it doesn't matter if you are not spending good time with them. They need your presence, they need your time. Okay, they need undivided attention in that time. Fourth is the encouraging or appreciating words. For some people, it's important that you appreciate verbally, acknowledge the love verbally. These are the people who would require you to tell them I love you frequently or quite often, more often than you do. Okay, because if you don't say it, it doesn't matter to them that much. That saying holds meaning to them. Okay, and the 5th kind is physical contact or physical connection. Now it simply can be about holding hands, giving a pat on the back, hugging, or putting your hand on their forehead when they're not well. Okay, so this physical touch expresses meaning to them. Now I have one child who is extremely in need of physical contact and the other one is just not liking it. Okay, so you can actually see the differences. Now why understanding these languages is important? Because what happens, we all speak one language of love, 1 or 2 language of love, even unknowingly. Like how to know, even without the test, how to know it? The moment you think about, okay, kisi ka birthday hai, what do you plan? Say it is for your spouse. What do you plan? Do you plan buying on a gift? Do you plan a party? Do you plan spending time with them? Do you plan making a greeting card? Or do you plan, just spending some good time together, going out together? What? So depending on that, your first idea, it's like, gifts are normal, but how much effort do you put in selecting a gift? Okay, so that's your natural love language and you generally tend to speak in that love language. Now what happens, I'll give you an example. Say for example, the husband's language of love is spending time together, having good moments together. And say the wife's language of love may be gifts. Okay, so what will happen, while planning a birthday, the wife may make the best gift which will not hold that much meaning for the husband. And say the husband will plan a beautiful vacation for the wife, which does not hold meaning for her, because gift nahi diya na, that makes all the difference. Or ठीक है ना, चीज दे के निपट गए, that's what the husband will react, कि कुछ दे के बस निपट गए. We could have spent some time together, we could have gone somewhere, that is the ideal gift for the husband. And a proper well thought of gift is an ideal gift for the wife in this case. So if they don't know each other's language of love, they will keep expressing their love in their own language. That does not mean there is no love there, but there is no connection. Now let's look at this in terms of children. How does that affect children? Because we are talking about children over here with partners and all, you figure it out. But how does that affect with children? How to figure out what's your child's love language? It's very difficult initially, because in the growing ages, they generally don't have one particular love language, okay? As they grow, you will slowly keep making out, because they are happy with everything. They're happy when you hug them, they're happy when you tell them that you love them, they're happy when you say encouraging words, they're very happy when you play with them and spend time with them, they are happy when you gift them something, and they are also happy when you do something for them, okay? So children, they are happy with all the love languages. But how will you know and why it is important is because often what we do is we keep expressing our love to child in our own love language. Like suppose the father, okay, his love language is say gifting or act of service. So he may do tiny things for the children, bring gifts for them, pack their bags, wash their massage their feet, or cook something for them. This is all act of service, okay? Cooking something is an act of service. So the father is going on expressing love in these two languages, but the child's love language may be encouraging words, which the father never gave, or words of appreciation, or a hug, which the father never gave. Maybe, I have seen parents doing that. So if the father has never given a hug to the child, and the father has never spoken politely or kindly to the child, no matter how much love the father is showering through gifts and act of service, the child will feel deprived of love. Yeah. And any language, this was just an example that I gave. So what are we to do with the children? We are to express our love in all the languages with the children, okay, till they grow up. I think right through their teens, express your love in all the languages. So how do you do that? Every day, make it a point that genuinely you appreciate one thing good that your child has done, and you tell them that you love them verbally. When you have scolded them, especially when you have scolded them, after that, when you had a fight, after that, although I've scolded you for those things, please know that I love you, and I'm doing it only from a place of love. You have to tell it. Give them a hug and tell this, okay? This will, reassure them that, okay, my mother shouted at me, my mother scolded me, so fine, but she loves me, okay? That's going to be there. So while there is scolding happening, while there is so many things happening, you have to tell them that you love them. When they're going to school, you tell them that you love them. You hug them. We did it right in the first video. So you tell them, you hug them, you give them frequent hugs whenever, give them a pat on their back. When they're studying, when they're writing something, you can just, pat their back and just give a massage. Like, sehlate na pyar se, caress their back, caress their head. They like it. Children like it. And you can massage their feet when you're putting them to sleep, give them a nice oil massage. You don't have to be really like vigorous massage, but just as you're talking to them, you can press their hand, press their feet, press their head, just give them a nice tap. Cook for them, you already do, but when you do something special for them, act of service, that will help. Your gifts need not always be expensive and magnanimous, but even a simple thing, even a book, present to them as gift. Like, because it is a gift of knowledge, isn't it? So even when I buy his textbooks, I just like, I'm getting something for you. This is a gift for you. Sometimes it could simply mean like a small pencil, it can be very attractive one, or things like that. Small things, just presented as a gift. I saw this and I thought of you, and that is why I bought it for you. That is what you have to tell when you're gifting something. You need not only gift them on birthdays. I need not buy extravagant things. Just buy simple things sometimes, and you saw it, you thought of your child and you bought it. This is a gift for you. So, give it every now and then. And Spend good time with them, play with them. How do you spend time with children? You play with them. You know, if your child is old enough for a board game, play a board game with a child at least once in a week. Play blocks with your younger ones, play toys, or play with them, you know, just sit with them, telling them stories, talking to them. This is all spending time together. Yeah. So with your children, you have to do it all. You have to express them in all the languages, and then slowly they will start reciprocating. They will start doing things with you, and when what they choose often is how you will know what's their language of love. Okay, so often you will see that your child, you know, one day if you miss hugging them, they'll remind you, you didn't hug me today, you didn't tell me that you love me today. So this is, I can see in my children, like, you know, my elder one is more about physical contact. That's most important to him, because apart from everything that happens in the day, if I've not hugged him in the day, he will like, or if I now, because he's growing up, he's heavy for my laps, and if I hug my younger one too much, he will be like, you don't hug me that way anymore. You know, and then I go ahead and hug him like that. So you have to be there, present, and you have to surprise them, you know. Okay, so normally I don't give them food which has too much of maida in it, but once in a while I'll make pizza for them, of course with wheat, but I'll just tell them, so we are making today and this I made for you, and he becomes so happy. Once in a while make something different for them, something junk that they like but homemade. So when you give it like that, once in a while, when you make chocolates for them, so they'll be very happy, you know. So those are also the kind of gifts that you can give, and this is how you express love, because it is important that you speak all the languages to the child, all of the 5 things that, so I'm telling you this, you know, because we have to consciously do it. Oftentimes we tend to only do or reciprocate or express our love in the language that is meaningful to us, but please understand, for a children it's all 5. You have to, unless they are old enough. I think you learn about the languages of love after 15, 16. You know, by then you will have a fairly good idea of what their language of love is. They'll be able to express it to you, how they find. You can ask them, you know, how would you like to spend your birthday? Do you want me to give you a gift, or should we go somewhere, or, you know, just stay at home, cook something nice, eat? What do you like to do? You know, they'll let you know. They'll be appreciative of that. Okay, so that was about the love languages. And if you like this video, please like it, please share it with others and help us grow. And if you have any questions for us, or if you want to give us any feedback, it would be very encouraging if you put it in the comment. That's your language of love, you know. any person putting videos on YouTube, their language of love is comments. An act of service by sharing, yes, and your words of appreciation and your time that you're giving us. Of course we are not physically, but high five. Hare Krishna.